Under D'Antoni, Nash and the Suns became famous for their 7-second offense, where the goal was to take each shot attempt within the first 7 seconds of gaining possession. Transition basketball is where Nash excels, as his ability to make quick decisions significantly improved his assists per game within this offense.
All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all are having a good night. Hope you guys had a good day. I wanted to check out this video from Mr. Johnny Arnett himself. Me personally, because I'm a huge Steve Nash fan and a Phoenix Suns fan since birth. This is called the most controversial MVP of the 2000s, Steve Nash, who won back-to-back. And we know Shaq feels a certain way about this. He feels like he should have won the MVPs, which I completely disagree with, because when he was with Miami, he was a shell of himself. And a lot of Kobe Bryant fans, I mean, basically every single one of them, believe that Kobe should have won at least one of those 2 MVPs that Nash won. And I kind of concede on the second one. I've kind of met in the middle. That first one in, I believe, 2005, Nash was the best, man. Nash turned our whole organization around. We went from not even close to a contender to basically being a prime contender. We were kind of expected to win even. It was pure dominance. It was a beautiful season to watch. That second season, though, I believe in 2006, he didn't so much improve that much. The numbers kind of stayed the same. Our record kind of stayed the same, and we didn't win. So at that point, I understand the argument, because Kobe was on the rise, the Lakers record was improving, and his numbers were through the roof. So I would probably concede that second one. But I'm curious what Johnny has to say about this, and what Johnny has picked out about it. Real quick, I do apologize. I've got some crazy allergies going on today. So if you hear me sniffling a little bit or my voice sounds a little off, just know that's all that's going on. I'm perfectly fine. I just got major sniffles. Anyways, as I always do, I'm going to link the original video from Johnny Arnett's channel down below. That's going to be in the description. So if you want to check out his channel, highly recommend it. And yeah, that's about it for the intro, everybody. Get ready to see the coolest basketball intro in all of YouTube, in my opinion. Y'all ready? Let's do it.
Steve and Stephon Marbury gave me the most problems. Gave me the most problems. I love Stephon Marbury.
Yeah, big bro.
Yeah, Steve was just a headache because he could do it. He could do it all.
Without being fast.
Didn't have John Stockton mode. You know what I mean? Just
Smart.
right here, just
smart.
You know what I mean? Just know how to get it done. You know what I mean?
They were drafted at the same year too.
Steve was excellent, man.
The 6'3" point guard was drafted with the
Where's the intro I promised, man? Johnny, what the heck is going on, man? All right, everyone, you're gonna have to check another Johnny Arnett video to see that awesome intro I was talking about. But if you haven't seen an Arnett video yet and you're watching my videos, I'm pretty shocked, to tell you the truth. Anyways, like the video, you know.
15th overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft by the Phoenix Suns.
I got that
There
rookie
wasn't
card.
a tremendous amount of hype surrounding him upon entering the league, as some described him as a poor man's John Stockton. Another reason for his lack of hype was because he was somewhat overshadowed by the overall talent in the 1996 NBA draft, which has a legitimate argument for the claim of the greatest draft class of league history.
I think it's either that or 84, in my opinion.
Nash was going to have to prove himself in order to earn his minutes, a task that would be difficult considering how he spent his first 2 seasons in Phoenix behind great established point guards like Kevin Johnson, Sam Cassell, and Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
In his first 2 seasons, he only managed to put up very modest numbers in his few minutes.
10 minutes a game. Second year, he was getting a lot more, though, 22 minutes. Interesting. 3 to 9. I mean, not bad. Not bad.
It wasn't until the summer after the completion of his second season that the Dallas organization recognized his potential and traded for the 24-year-old guard.
Yep.
Nash immediately became a starter for the Mavericks, but his game was still developing slowly to go along with the fact that he was dealing with injuries over the next 2 seasons. It wasn't until his third season with Dallas that Nash began to break out as a premier point guard, as he put up around 15 points and 7 assists on 48.7% shooting. He was decently close to his first 50-40-90 season, something that would go on to become a theme of his career. With his solid form and with his high-arcing jumper, he established himself as one of the most reliable and efficient shooters of the game. Over the next several seasons, his game would slightly improve in Dallas, and with the help of Dirk Nowitzki and Michael Finley, the Big Three Mavericks were consistently making noise in the Western Conference playoffs,
Yeah, they were.
making it as far as the West Finals in 2003, where they were eventually eliminated by Tim Duncan's Spurs.
Yeah, I really like that team with like Finley, Nash, Dirk. That was a cool team.
Into the summer of 2004, Nash had put up solid numbers in his recent years with Dallas, but he wasn't quite in the conversation yet of the best point guards of the entire league.
Yeah, not even
Nash
close.
was also 30 years old and entering free agency. Typically, an NBA player's best years are behind him by the time he's reached his 30s, and Mavericks owner Mark Cuban had already committed to pay a significant salary to players like Anton Jameson, Michael Finley, Antoine Walker, and Dirk Nowitzki.
Cuban has said multiple times on record now that letting Steve Nash go was the biggest mistake he ever made. And then later on, letting Tyson Chandler go was the second biggest mistake he ever made. Big time regrets on that.
Cuban offered Nash a 4-year deal that would pay him $9 million per year, but Phoenix offered him a 6-year deal for $63 million, which Cuban was not willing to match. So it was back to the Phoenix Suns for Nash, who were just coming off of a 29-53 season. This is where the star point guard's career would completely take off.
Absolutely.
As it was the perfect setting for his skill set and style.
I gotta admit too, because I watched this whole thing happen right in front of my eyes, night after night after night. I always had my eye on Nash when he was with the Mavericks. I knew he was good. I had no idea how great he could be in the right system. Not even a clue. I always just thought, yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. But yeah, what he did from day one in Phoenix, starting right here with Mike D'Antoni. And yeah, we had Joe Johnson, we had Sean Marion, we had Amari Stoudemire, we had Quentin Richardson bombing threes. It was pure joy over here. And it was all helmed by Nash. Nash went on the bench, we fell apart. So Nash had to be out there running the entire show. There was no doubt in anyone's mind here in Phoenix who we have to thank for all of this, and it was Steve Nash. Because if he's on the bench, the flow of the offense got just completely destroyed.
New head coach of the Phoenix Suns was Mike D'Antoni, who loved to play a high-scoring and up-tempo style, which highly emphasizes perimeter shooting. Under D'Antoni, Nash and the Suns became famous for their 7-second offense, where the goal was to take each shot attempt within the first 7 seconds of gaining possession. Transition basketball is where Nash excels, as his ability to make quick decisions significantly improved his assists per game within this offense.
And mind you, it's not like it's the same way that it is now, because all we do now is shoot threes, right? We attack the basket, because on one wing, we had Amari Stoudemire. The other side, we had the high-flying Sean Marion, the Matrix, and then Nash running the breaks. So the idea of 7 seconds or less wasn't like run to the three-point line and chuck a three. It was get to the rim within 7 seconds. And if that flow breaks, then we move the ball around, let Nash do a little one-on-one offense, and he would find an open shooter. And we'd also be running the pick and rolls. We were deadly. If the NBA looked like this right now, I'd be happy, because this had a great variety. Between the pick and rolls, the fast breaks, and the threes, it was brilliant.
With supporting talent like Joe Johnson, Sean Marion, and Amari Stoudemire, Nash led Phoenix to a league-best 62-20 record, which was a 33-win improvement over the previous season.
There it is. There it is, everyone. I want to play this back, because every time I do a reaction involving Steve Nash and I talk about how much he improved our team, everyone's like, no, man, you guys were really good, blah, 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 blah. No, we weren't good. We really weren't. So hear this again.
62-20. Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire, Nash led Phoenix to a league-best 62-20 record, which was a 33-win improvement over the previous season.
33-win improvement, okay? We're talking about like about 40% more wins. And what did we do? We added Steve Nash. End of story. You know, that's impact, and that's why I say most valuable player of that season. Hands down.
On the year, Nash put up 15.5 points and a league-leading 11.5 assists on remarkable all-around efficiency. With Nash being Phoenix's only major acquisition, he improved the team from the bottom half of the league offensively to the best in the entire league. This impactful performance earned him the 2005 League MVP award. He continued his terrific play all the way into the Western Conference Finals, where they were eventually eliminated by the defensively superior San Antonio Spurs.
Yep.
The following
They're our worst enemy, man. Those Spurs are our worst enemy. Just like the Rockets were our worst enemy in the 90s.
Season, Sun star Amari Stoudemire was lost for the season due to a knee injury, and shooting guard Joe Johnson had been traded away in the offseason. So the short...
Yeah, that was a big mistake, by the way. Like, a lot of people don't even remember ISO Joe playing here in Phoenix, but it was he was the perfect shooting guard for our team, because we had all those elements I already pointed out with the fast breaks, the pick and rolls, and the three-point shooting. What we got with ISO Joe was if the 7 seconds or less strategy did not work, all you got to do is give Joe the ball, and he's going to play one-on-one, and usually he was going to get us a bucket. So in other words, there was no stopping us. Unless one of our guys goes down, we get injured, you couldn't stop us. Offensively, we were ready for anything you threw at us. And Joe Johnson was a huge part of that. Letting him go was a massive mistake for us.
Right-handed Suns were not expected to be anywhere close to contenders, but that's when Nash showed his ability to make his teammates better, and actually improved upon his MVP numbers from the previous season, as he led his Phoenix Suns to an improbable 54-28 record.
And those of you who are addicted to numbers, like, these numbers don't tell the story, because what he was really doing was just controlling the flow of the offense. Much like I would say Magic Johnson's numbers don't tell the entire story. You have to actually watch the game and see what an impact they're making. Much like I would say, looking at LeBron James' numbers doesn't tell the story, because he's getting high numbers, but when you see how he's negatively impacting his team's game, it kind of, it makes you question. But yeah, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists. It was much more than that as far as like the impact he made on our team.
Record. He also did it while achieving a 50-40-90 season, which only 8 other players have done in NBA history. More on that later. Thanks to his incredible play, and thanks to the way he led his team to exceed expectations in a tough Western Conference, Nash was named the league's MVP for the second straight season. Somehow, Nash once again pushed his Suns all the way to the Western Conference Finals, where they eventually lost in 6 games to the Dallas Mavericks. But this wouldn't be the last time.
Yeah, that was ironic, by the way, losing to the Mavericks. Didn't see that one coming.
Nash would lead his team to be serious contenders. After another impressive regular season and a near third straight MVP award, Nash led his Suns into the postseason with a 61-21 record, and waiting for them in the West semifinals was their rival, the San Antonio Spurs. This series is still considered as one of the great what-ifs of NBA history.
This sucks.
Nash was having a great series, and the Suns won the 4th game, which tied the series at 2 games apiece.
Yeah, I think we finally had him.
But unfortunately, it came at a major cost. Late in the 4th game, in a one-possession situation, Robert Horry gives Nash a very hard hip check, which results in an altercation between Raja Bell and Horry, and several players leave the bench. But the altercation between Bell and Horry is not the part that potentially changed the course of...
You see, like, you got, like, Stoudemire over here trying to get to Steve Nash to help him. He wasn't trying to fight. And that's what sucks. He wasn't going into the crowd to start trouble. He was going to his teammate, which is on the sideline, mind you. His teammate was on the sideline, not on the floor. So he stayed on the sideline to go and help his teammate, Steve Nash, make sure he's okay, because that was a massive hit. And you'll see what happens from here. This is the greatest what if as a Suns fan, because I think we actually had them beat finally. And I think if we would have got through the Spurs, we would have rolled through the finals. We would have finally had a championship right here. But there's a Phoenix curse, man. We are just destined to never win a championship over here. And it's driving me nuts.
The series. Due to the league off...
I'll play it back real quick.
Raja Bell.
Okay, so there's the hit. I mean, yeah, this is dangerous. you know, especially where his head's at. You know, there's a natural instinct to head over and see if the guy's okay. It's not on the floor once again, but also it was a dead ball. The whistle is blown right here. So you got a dead ball. You should be allowed to do this.
And
Look at that. I think that's Mike D'Antoni, the head coach right now. Like, of course he's going to see if his player is okay.
several players leave the bench. But the altercation
And
between
I think that's Amari Stoudemire right there.
Bell and Ori
Or
is not
there,
the part.
And they're holding him back. And I almost wish they didn't do that because it's making it look like he's trying to cause trouble. But he's not heading here. He was heading to Steve Nash. What a wreck.
That potentially changed the course of the series. Due to the league office being a bit paranoid shortly after the malice at the Palace, the league had extremely harsh punishments for any players who left the bench during an altercation. Among those players in this specific situation were key members of the Suns roster.
Look, Amari's not doing. He's not causing any trouble. By the way, Amari, our starting center, and Boris Diaw, the guy who subs in for Amari for the most part, that was his role. So we lost our two big men right there, right?
Stoudemire and Boris Diaw. For this simple move towards center court, both players were suspended from the crucial fifth game in Phoenix, a game that San Antonio would win, and they would eventually win the series and the championship as well. If these silly suspensions never took place, then Steve Nash may have a championship ring on his resume.
Yep.
But unfortunately, that championship would never come.
Nope.
He's also among the most efficient players the game has ever seen. He has the second greatest free throw percentage in league history, behind only Steph Curry at 90.4%. He also had 4 seasons with 50, 40, 90 percentages, which is twice as much as the nearest competitor of league history, which is Larry Bird. But wait, it gets even more impressive. Not only does Nash hold the record with 4 50, 40, 90 seasons, but from the 02-03 season through the 2012-2013 season, Nash averaged 50, 40, 90 percentages.
Crazy.
That means for an entire decade, Nash did what only a handful of players have done for just a single season. It's not like he was a completely perfect player though. Among Nash's weaknesses was his defense, as he was a little too slow with his lateral movement to keep up with the quicker point guards in the league, especially during his days with Phoenix and beyond.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what created the philosophy here of we have to outscore these guys. You know, we have to massively outscore these guys because, defensively, we had a couple of weaknesses, and Steve Nash was the major weakness. Sean Marion was a great defender that we had later on. Boris, not Diaw, Raja Bell, etc.
With that being said, he's one of those players who would have loved to have played in the modern NBA with all the transition basketball and three-point shooting.
He would kill this
Since
league.
his retirement, Nash has since stated that he wished he had shot more three-pointers during his playing days,
Yeah, I've seen this.
and he certainly could have. One of his listed weaknesses on the day he was drafted was the fact that he's a bit too selective with his shots, and that trend continued throughout his NBA career, which played a large part in why he had such incredible efficiency percentages. All in all, Nash is one of the great point guards of league history, and in my opinion, from a team impact standpoint, he certainly earned his 2 MVP awards. Let me know in the comments section if you think Steve Nash is underrated, properly rated, or overrated, and do you think he was the right choice for his 2 MVP awards? Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Great video. To answer the question, I mean, I kind of already did, but I at least give him his first MVP, 100%, because I view the MVP the same way. It's not about just the best individual player who's putting up astronomical numbers. It's about what that player is doing individually to contribute to the team's success. Because it's not called like most bestest freaking player. It's called most valuable player. The value is what you're doing for the team to help us win, right? Because that's the goal of the game, is to win the game. It's a team sport. So absolutely Nash at least gets that first one. The only reason I question the second one now is because with Kobe, that second year, what his individual play was beginning to contribute to more victories, and they were becoming like a team to be reckoned with. But yeah, that's the way I view it. By the way, you know how I always say like there's there's greatest and then there's favorite. I know Steve Nash isn't one of the greatest of all time, but he is my second favorite player of all time behind Michael Jordan. Like, I absolutely loved Nash, and I haven't liked the player like that, you know, like just like reveled at watching him play since. There's some dudes I enjoy watching, but Nash was he was so freaking fun to watch, man. Watching him run an offense. Yes, he should have shot more, but back then, point guards weren't doing that. He was a true point guard who was pass first, shoot second. It just happened to be that he was the best shooter on our team. So in hindsight, I understand what Nash is saying. You know, he should have probably shot more, and that could have changed the way people were playing us defensively. If Steve Nash himself was commanding a double team. You double team Nash, and he's obviously going to find players. He's going to find open shots for everybody. He did that anyways, but he had to use a lot more effort to accomplish that because he had to use his speed and his handles in order to get by his opponent. Anyways, I absolutely love Steve Nash. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about those MVPs. Do you think Kobe deserved both? Do you think Kobe deserved one? Do you think Shaq deserved it? Do you think someone else did? Or do you think Nash deserved both of them? I'm curious about it. Johnny, fantastic video. No intro here, but this was a cool video. Good music, good layout. I enjoyed it. Very informative. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Remember, the link down below is there for you if you want to check out Johnny Arnett's channel. And like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And have a wonderful, peaceful night. I'm going to do the same. And I'm also going to go blow my nose. Peace out, everybody.